Today I am keeping another promise to the American people by nominating Judge Neil Gorsuch of the United States Supreme Court to be of the United States Supreme Court.
Donald Trump's legacy when he leaves office will be that he appointed the most conservative Supreme Court for many, many decades.
Just heard.
Well, I tell you, Judy, just 12 days into his presidency, Mr. Trump has taken a step that could leave a lasting impression on the nation for years to come.
I think he's been amazing on the court because he's gone back to some of the same themes we saw during his confirmation hearings of let's be very faithful to the text of the law. Let's stick with what the Constitution says here and make sure we're going back to that. And he's called the court back to that in several cases in his opinions and in oral arguments. So I think it's been great.
Besides making a call, a president to send American troops into harm's way, this is now the most important decision a sitting president can make. For now, the second time in less than 2 years, President Trump has selected a nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court.
In keeping with President Reagan's legacy, I do not ask about a nominee's personal opinions. What matters is not a judge's political views, but whether they can set aside those views to do what the law and the Constitution require. I am pleased to say that I have found, without doubt, such a person. Tonight, it is my honor and privilege to announce that I will nominate Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court.
But after years on the D.C. Court of Appeals, what is his originalist and constitutionalist track record is fairly extensive and fairly robust. And by the way, to all you never-Trumpers out there all across America, you tried so hard to prevent a Trump presidency. Are you happy tonight at all? Can you admit you were wrong at all? Are you happy about, let's see, tax cuts, promises made, promises kept? Are you happy that this was not Hillary Clinton tonight appointing a judicial activist, a left-wing activist to the Supreme Court? Are you happy you don't have two radical judges on the Supreme Court? Would you rather have Hillary Rodham Clinton making this selection tonight? It is also important to review the extreme measures that the left in America will take in order to malign, besmirch, destroy the reputation of Judge Kavanaugh and also his family that you saw tonight. It's a story as old as time. For decades, every single solitary nomination to the U.S. Supreme Court by a Republican president has been met with the same destructive tactics from the Democratic Party.
But do you believe the anger and the meanness on the other side?
Chaos on Capitol Hill. Democrats and protesters turning the Brett Kavanaugh hearing into a three-ring circus. And Democrats interrupted over 60 times. And when they weren't doing that, Capitol Hill police arrested roughly 24 demonstrators for rowdy disruptions like this.
Alexander Hamilton wrote in the Federalist Papers. Mr. Chairman, could I pause there until the room is clear?
Surely I would.
Okay.
Kavanaugh is one of the most distinguished judges. Mr. Chairman, I think we ought to have this loudmouth removed.
We're hearing that the Senate Democrats coordinated the disruption with some of these protesters who I believe were from the Women's March mostly, as you remember.
Sick. It's sick.
This president has kept his political promises, more so than any president that I've seen in my lifetime in terms of pursuing the things that he promised.
I have always felt that after the defense of our nation, the most important decision a president of the United States can make is the appointment of a Supreme Court justice. Depending on their age, a justice can be active for 50 years, and his or her decisions can last a century or more and can often be permanent.